Let's see, let's do a quick sound test here. Are we live? Let's see. Are we live? Yes, we are. Very good. Usually it screws up right away. So, Merry Crit. Oh, it is September. When the hell did that happen? Hmm, that is quite interesting. I could have sworn I was supposed to release this around Christmas. I had the script all set up, and then boom, 9 months goes by. So here we are, episode 9 recap and stats breakdown of season 34 of The Amazing Race. This is so we can finish off the recap podcast battle royale before season 35, note the quotation marks, airs on TV. So this episode was in Malaga, Spain. For those of you who don't know, that was the first non-Anglophone city I ever visited. I spent New Year's Eve of 2016 in Malaga, Spain. Have you not heard that from any of the podcasts? Haven't you listened to the other 500 podcasts with our TV Warriors or my TARstorian blogs over the past 13 years? That tends to come up a lot. So we have a very brief recap because you've probably already watched. If you're watching this recap, you already probably watched 4 or 5 other recap podcasts before you saw this one. So, do I really need to go in depth? Probably not. Probably not. So, let's see. So, in the previously on segment, one thing to note, Phil talks about Lewis's and Derek's romance in that previously on segment, and just talking about how Lewis and Derek seem so attracted to each other, while their significant others, probably had a sidebar saying, "Do we have to worry about this?" I mean, Lewis and Derek really have this bromance going on, and as long as Phil Kogan hands out Expedia points instead of lubricant as the prize at the next pit stop, I think Claire and Michelle will be in the clear. They won't have anything to worry about. Phil introduces Malaga as an ancient city with 30 museums, which is about 300 less than what Mexico City has, so not the biggest achievement. And now it has must-see monuments and a cultural hub. Cultural hub being that it constantly plays Careless Whisper by George Michael in every shopping mall in the city. I can tell you that from personal experience. They love George Michael there. They have the faith. I'm not doing an Andy Bernard impression. Oh, so of course, this is a double leg, 2 detours, 2 roadblocks, 2 episodes, and a non-elimination that we know is a foregone conclusion based on the series' structure. Derek and Claire get the nickname of Reality Romance. I forgot about this. While Lewis and Michelle's nickname at the bottom of the screen is Married. You can see who CBS was trying to hype up just a little bit more. Teams were given €0, and in a way to punish Emily and or Molly, whoever's knee got injured, those legs started on the very top of the fortress. That's a great way to troll production. So Lewis and Michelle, Derek and Claire only had a 15-minute head start on the other 3 teams. Lewis refers to the city as being gorgeous, mate, in an Australian accent because, that classic Latino-Australian crossover is a very common mix. We get to the roadblock almost right away, where Phil Kogan says that Pablo Picasso created 147,700 pieces of artwork. I went to Google. I have the screenshot if anybody is curious, but Picasso actually made 147,800 pieces of artwork. So unless Phil Kogan was playing it safe with the Price is Right rules of being the closest without going over, he was blatantly wrong. Derek copied Brooke by saying, "You got this, Claire. You got this, Claire." So I think Brooke from season 17 wants her royalties big time. Derek trolled David by making him believe that Picasso should be missing an ear, but really it's Van Gogh. That's what Derek said, or Evander Holyfield. Lewis and Michelle, of course. Editors really wanted to make it clear that they're Spanish because half of the dialogue that airs from Lewis and Michelle is in Spanish this episode. So that happened. Marcus thinks they have a chance to win the race, but I don't think they do because they finished this season in 5th place. Aubrey had a confessional where she says, "Oh, I've been holding back a little." And while she's giving that confessional, She is holding on to the straps of David's backpack for dear life. That was a pretty genius edit. Michael says, but when they're at the roadblock figuring out who's going to do the infamous glass pane roadblock, the pane in the glass, Michael asks Marcus, "Oh, are you good at puzzles?" And Marcus says, "Yeah, I can do it." He did not answer the question. And this comes up later where Michael said, "Well, Marcus said he was good at puzzles." No, he just said he could do it. He never said he was good at it. Uh, so Emily had to do this roadblock because she was sitting out a lot of roadblocks due to her knee. I don't know if you remember this, but her knee was really that was a serious injury. Yeah, editors definitely did not make it. Definitely were really subtle about that being a storyline for them. And then Molly's cried while Emily's moving around the pieces, and Molly says, "Oh, I don't want her to feel like if we go out today, then it's her fault. But if Emily screws up this roadblock, it would be her fault. It would 100% be her fault. It wouldn't be anybody else's fault. I mean, we don't want her to feel like it's her fault because we're not jackasses, but it would be her fault." The only time that Michelle spoke in English to the painter, to the Picasso impersonator at the roadblock, was when she said, "Gosh darn it." And I'm trying to remember all of my Pimsleur lessons from when I was in Spain and South America, and I don't remember translating "gosh darn it" into Spanish. So I guess when there's no equivalent, you just revert back to English. Uh, yeah, the one painter judge, he had a pretty sick gray beard going on, and all the judges, I think, had just watched Russell Crowe in The Gladiator, or rather, I guess it would be Joaquin Phoenix's character with doing the thumbs up or the thumbs down for approval. When Claire finished Roblox, she kissed the top of Derek's head. I don't advise that because by leg 9, everyone's hair is covered in lice. I know mine would be if I was on The Amazing Race. Derek keeps saying, "Oh, he's so terrible at riding bikes." I mean, I don't even know how to ride a bike. I think I could figure it out though. All I would have to do is read a Russell Simmons book. So Derek's saying, "Oh, he's crashed a bike, he's crashed a moped, he's crashed a jet ski, he's crashed a car, he's crashed a truck, he's crashed a tank, a helicopter, an airplane." So that's why he's really nervous about riding this bike in Malaga. But again, you think it's going to go better than the time he crashed the helicopter onto the 405. Let's see, what else do we got here? We got Derek as a chef, Claire's a vegan. That keeps coming up for some reason. Lewis and Michelle talked about, I think this is in Croqueta Chat podcast, as opposed to the episode about how they practiced paddling for the paddleboarding for The Amazing Race, not in Logan and Chris's backyard canals from season 27, but with some random chick named Sabrina. And it got them 3rd place. So I guess that random chick named Sabrina wasn't the best person to practice paddleboarding with. Yeah. So yeah, Sabrina, you've been cut. If I'm gonna take advanced paddleboarding lessons, I'm not going to Miami and hire someone named Sabrina. I'm gonna be cautious. I'm gonna be cautious. I noticed throughout this episode that Derek does a great job of giving confessionals. You can tell why he's already been cast for 3 different CBS reality shows in the span of a year. And then Derek and Claire, who did not do the best with their French, but somehow passed the task. Derek said that he is stupido. I hate to break it to you, Derek, but that is not the Spanish translation for the word stupid. Let's see. Oh, yeah. We found out that Aubrey is 1/4 Filipino because her grandma, I guess, would cook sardines, bite the head off the another Mike Tyson reference. Bite the head off of the sardine and then eat it. So that's why Aubrey never eats fish. And I have to say, that's the second most traumatic thing that Filipinos or Filipinas do with food, given that I was married to a Filipina. The most traumatic thing is that they have spaghetti at McDonald's. I've never been able to eat spaghetti since then. Of course, Emily wanted to do the paddleboarding task, because she goes paddleboarding down the Colorado River with her daughter, but she has to skip it because of her knee. I don't know if you know this, but she has a knee injury. Let's see. Lewis and Michelle are paddleboarding. I have a couple of jokes about it, but they're not that funny now that I read through them. They could be dropped. Yeah, this leg would be terrible for me since I don't know how to ride a bike and I've never salted meat before. So at least I know Malaga. At least I know Malaga like the back of my hand. And yeah, Derek and Claire help out David and Aubrey because they clearly want to drag the weakest team to the finale. So I think that's why they tell them to salt their fish at the detour, and they leave in the top 2 spots. Lewis and Michelle leave in number 3, and then Emily and Molly, Marcus and Michael end the episode still stuck at the detour. So based upon the edit, I think it's pretty clear that Derek and Claire are going to win this race, and that Emily and Molly are just going to come up just short, and that Lewis and Michelle are going to have a relationship arc and end up in 3rd place. And then David and Aubrey, they're not going to quite make the finale, be in 4th. And I think Marcus and Michael are going to be next out in 5th place. Again, this is purely based off of edit. I loved Derek doing the Turkish Salt Bay reference. I had to tell Reality Realness that he was copying the Turkish Salt Bay. And now we get to the stats portion. I'm going to do some really quick stats in the last 3 minutes. Derek and Claire become the 3rd team of the season to win consecutive legs. This also happened in seasons 33 and 32. It has been 10 seasons since the last Spain visit. That's the longest gap in the series by length of time, not by number of seasons. The record is still 11. Leg 9 is the earliest pit stop the Amazing Race has had in Spain, whether you classify, or rather a leg ending in Spain, I should say, since there wasn't an actual pit stop. Hammerot's Lemillion and the Chinese celebrity version has visited Spain too in the past. And the El Cubone route marker was the first time that teams encountered a Pokemon since the premiere of season 31 when teams traveled to Japan. Derek and Claire allegedly got in contact with a local Spanish Olympic ice skater and tried to get a hold of Tanya Harding's friend to knock out Molly's knee, just to tilt the odds in their favor so that both teammates would have injured knees and really, really guarantee the victory for them and get the $1 million. And this is the 2nd leg in a row that a racer named Derek and a racer named Claire got 1st place. Dating back to season 1, episode 1, this leg continues the streak of being won by a team that is under the average age of 80 years old. That dates back right since the beginning of the series. Marcus and Michael are the first team since Ryan and Rusty in season 33, the first all-male team to be saved by a non-elimination leg. And in an unaired scene, Lewis and Michelle really, really wanted to do the paddleboarding task. They were trying to paddle across to Tangier, Morocco, since you can see that from Malaga. But production had stopped them and say, no, you don't have to paddleboard across to Tangier, Lewis. You just gotta get to that boat, to that yacht offshore. What are you doing, man? So it's good that production intervened. Otherwise, they would have lost a lot of time. Although it would have saved Marcus and Michael. Again, I'm just going based off of edit. I presume that Marcus and Michael will be eliminated in 5th place at the end of episode 10. So there you have it. There's my recap for episode 9, along with some stats at the end. I hope you enjoyed my statistics too. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace out, and just chill till the next episode.